Hey guys, welcome to the September Release Number 20 giveaway. I hope everyone's doing well. I know that everyone's fishing again and the fish are biting because I'm seeing the numbers pour in for October, so it's pretty cool to see it. It's a fun time of year. Everyone's out fishing but me, so I'm hoping to get out there soon. But we're going to get kicked off here. We've got a lot going on tonight. I'm going to bring on some of our regulars here, starting with Adam. How you doing, Adam?
Hey, Dave. Hey, everyone.
Nice hat.
Yeah.
Kerry's not going to join us tonight. He's got some guests tonight. He's out to dinner. We'll make do without him. But we're going to welcome a couple of our state reps here. Scotty. Hey, Scotty. Good to see you, man, as always. And a regular Don Bailius from Mississippi.
Hey, guys.
Hey, look. Scotty, look at Adam's shirt.
Nice fish program.
That's right. Represent.
Yeah. Scotty, tell everyone real quick about the fish program.
So the fish program I started last year, took out 16 Marines for free, and we were able to get sponsors to donate buckets, apparel, sunglasses. They get to go eat at Big Apple. It's a local pizzeria. And then they get to go fish to the local area, which is right on base, and hopefully gets them into getting into the outdoors and fishing. So this year we've taken out 12. I got a trip I'm about to plan, and then got some big things working with that, possibly going under the umbrella of Disabled Outdoorsmen and possibly doing that together. So see how that goes.
Awesome, man. You do so much for people. I really find you to be an inspiration. Thanks for all you do, man.
Yes, sir.
I know it comes from the heart. You can tell. Anyone that meets you, you just know it. So if anyone, as usual, if you have any comments, feel free to post them, such as this one. Hey, Josh. Appreciate the note. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, any questions along the way, post them up and we'll address them. Don, you just got done fishing, right?
Yes, sir.
You did some tagging?
Yeah, I was just sitting here filling out some tags. Tagged 20 trout today.
Good deal.
To tag them in our program, they have to be over 13 inches. So all the fish we tagged today were over 13.
Nice. Adam, what's up with you?
Well, we were out of town. We did a quick little weekend trip this past weekend, but prior to that, we fished a little. But here in Charleston, anyway, around that full moon, the wind was blowing really hard. Like it's been a solid 15 to 25, right, Dave? For it seems like at least a week, and it's an east wind, so meaning that it pushes the water up, so that the high tide was like much higher than normal. There was water everywhere. It was really hard to fish. The current was really strong. So,
and it was a king's tide.
Yeah,
exactly. So
October typically is a month full of giant tides.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Seems like there's hardly ever not a high tide in October. It's good for tailors if you're into that.
Yeah.
I finished my boat project. I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, congrats.
Y'all might have saw it. Thank you. 3-year project.
So when's the inaugural? When do you?
Well, I splashed it today for the first time. It's like a systems check. I didn't bring a fishing rod. I just wanted to check all the systems out, and mostly a success. Except I'm having a little problem with the voltage coming out of the motor. I think I have a regulator problem. It's a brand new motor. It's like never been run before, so trying to resolve that. Unfortunately, that kind of is going to keep me on the hill until I get it resolved. But so anyway, but I'm stoked about it. It'll be on the water soon. Hey, Ruben, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you too, man. So we have a special guest we're hoping to have tonight. We're going to stall a little bit because he's a captain in New Jersey and he was still on the water as of a couple minutes ago. He may or may not make it, but we're going to move on to our presentation and talk a little bit about some of our news. So I wanted to point out a couple things. Comment came in here. Hey, Daryl, lots of big good sign for the fall in South Mississippi. Heck yeah, man. Don, you know Daryl?
Oh yeah, that's my fishing buddy.
All right.
Me and Daryl fish together quite a bit.
Nice.
He's quite a fisherman. I can tell y'all that.
Well, if he fishes with you, he must be pretty good.
I think he makes me good.
That's awesome. So I've been posting a little bit, but we're really close to 10,000 trout releases. We're down to 76 remaining. There's a good chance we'll hit that this month. I think we very well might, based on the rate that they're coming in. I know a lot of y'all practice release over 20 don't necessarily enter your fish, but we'd love to have you enter them just to help us meet our goal. I think it's kind of a cool thing to be able to say that we reached it, and we no doubt that we will. It's just a matter of when, but getting close. So that's awesome. And then the other one is our main thing that we really try to increase is the total participating anglers. And we're currently at, hey, Jason. Yeah, man, you probably might bring in 76 in 1 month by yourself. Let's do it. Let's see it. I challenge you to do it. Let's do it. So our unique participating anglers is 1971. So we got 29 new anglers to reach 2,000, which is another cool milestone. So how do we get that? Tell your friends about the program and encourage them to enter their fish. And also adding redfish is definitely helping that as well. We're getting a lot of new participants. So what this is showing is that we currently average 5 fish per angler. So that means we got a lot of loyal participants, and we'd like to spread it out as well as have the loyalty too. So just to meet that goal, both goals. Hopefully next month we'll be able to say we reach both of those goals, which would be pretty cool. Another thing that I didn't post here is that we just had our anniversary. Adam, remind me, is it 2 or 3 years since we've been a nonprofit? I think it's 2.
Yeah, I think 2.
2, and then the whole program's been going 3.5. But I think it's October 4th. Does that seem right, Adam? 4th
yeah,
or 5th is our anniversary. So we just reached a couple years. So, I hear a lot of people talk about, let's, think about starting a nonprofit, conservation and all that. And I'd say that one thing I'm proud of is that 3.5 years later, we're still going strong. And it's just, at times it can be a bit of a grind, but it's very rewarding, I think, overall. But a lot of times you don't think about, oh, it's really fun for the first 6-9 months, and then you get tired of it, right? So it's pretty cool that we have the staying power so far, I think.
Yeah, so we became an official nonprofit from the IRS on October 4th, 2021, just to be exact.
Awesome. So 2 years. Very cool. Happy anniversary to us. I like to post these comments. If you can go to the website anytime and go on our leaderboard page and click on comments, and you can see all the latest comments. But I just like to look at these, and we're getting a lot of neat comments coming in from new redfish participants. And you see Greg Sample. Greg's the owner of Pure Flats Slick Lure. He's entered a couple Louisiana over 20s, and he's pretty excited because he's seeing some momentum down there and some more bigger fish, which is cool.
You caught one with us.
Yeah.
Well, with you, I should say. But
yeah. So slick lures aren't known in Charleston much yet. And to be honest, I kept telling them that they probably wouldn't work that well here because they're not heavy enough to really get down in the strike zone with our tides. Our tides are 7 feet, sometimes 6-7 feet. And I have changed my opinion on that because I've started to use them, just like going out and purposely just fishing slick lure, just to put it to the test. And damn, that thing doesn't work. Um, um, so yeah, so it definitely works. I usually have to use the 1/8 ounce weighted hook for it, but Greg came up through South Carolina and Charleston and spent a day fishing with Adam and Carrie first day, and then spent a couple nights at my house, and we fished one day. And I was in a topwater spot that I took him to, and throwing a spook, and he put on a weightless slick in the B-cat color. It's like white with a chartreuse tail. And damn if he didn't freaking slay a 4.5 pound, 23 and something inch trout with that thing. It was amazing. That in Charleston is like, I'll catch like 1 or 2 of those a year, that size. So I made sure he knew that. It's like, holy crap, man, that's a fish. That's a great fish. So that was kind of a cool experience. So changing subjects, redfish progress. So we've had redfish since October 1st in the program. We already have 72 fish entered in 9 days, which is really strong. Comments are really good, and I think people really enjoyed the lead up to it, which was some of the facts. And we're going to have some follow-up nuanced discussions with our DNR, I think, to talk about some of the issues around redfish in a little more detail. It's hard to do in like a couple word little tile on our social media. So, but I'm really happy with how redfish is going so far. Don, you guys gonna answer that fish you caught today?
The redfish?
The
Yeah,
26er?
Yeah. Dwayne Lulu caught it. He's going to enter it.
Nice.
I was supposed to went down and fish with Greg today and a part day tomorrow, but I couldn't make it. Barbara's got a doctor's appointment in Jackson tomorrow, and she wasn't feeling well, so I slipped away this afternoon, and we had a decent afternoon.
Well, that's all right, man. I lost my train of thought. So,
yeah, he's going to enter it.
Oh yeah. So what I was thinking is like the +1 decals, like we're showing here. I was trying to think about how I'm personally going to use those, because if I'm not going to post one for every fish. I'm going to enter every fish that I release over 20 in the program, but I think I'm going to keep a +1 decal for all the ones that are in slot that I could have kept that I didn't keep. And then maybe I'll make one for any that are like over 30. It's more of like an aspirational fish, and then turn it upside down for that. That's how I think I'm going to do it. But I'm definitely going to enter all of my over 20s that I release. Have you guys put any thought into it, Scotty? I know you post them up a lot.
So I'm going to put them on my garage door. So all my 40s will be flipped upside down, and all the other ones will just be regular.
That's cool. You've been on them.
So we've already entered 2 or 3, and then I've had a Marine that entered a few, and so he's a new guy. He just entered like 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
very cool.
He was super happy for doing reds now.
Yeah. You've been posting them at night. Are you going after like sundown or early in the morning?
We've done early in the morning, mid afternoons, and then the sunset bite has been pretty good.
That's cool.
I fish all the time. So.
If you go over to Scotty's Instagram, STW Charter, is that it?
Yes, sir.
You'll see some of the giant redfish he's been catching with his clients.
And we're getting
every day they're
the DOSA, the Disabled Outdoorsman USA Red Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The camera guy was on my boat on Tuesday night, and we put a 50 and a 42 on the boat with the 2 disabled people.
That's awesome.
So one
Wow.
was wheelchair bound and the other one could get around. But those were some of the best fights that I've ever had, because the second one was the wheelchair bound and trying to get the angler with the big motor, like chasing the fish down and making sure that she was able to fight the fish was awesome. So
I tell you what, those freaking things, it's like, it feels like hooking into a cattle or something like that, right? You can't really turn them unless you got a really heavy gear.
Yep.
I've had several I've hooked at our jetties and they just pull me right over the top of the rocks, and I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. And then they break off. I can't turn them, you know?
we were lucky enough that them broke off with those guys. So
That's awesome. Really cool thing. So some of our infographics for the month. So we had September 59 trout, 22 flounder, and 32 sheepshead, which is
Good showing.
strong. And actually, our guest, who I hope can join us, he said he's coming, is one of the main reasons for that sheepshead number being so high. Now, October's flounder numbers should be through the roof once we include our Alabama rep, Patrick Garmison's tournament entries for release over 20 in our results. We're testing out a way to pull the data from Fishing Chaos, where that tournament's being run, into our database, and we'll probably try that within the next few weeks. But you should see the flounder for this month be way up there, like higher than it's ever been by a long shot, which is cool. So our leaderboard, Stan Zimmerman I think he's from Virginia. First place, my man Dan Mancari from Pennsylvania / New Jersey area got on the flounder like heavy and entered a bunch. So he added to the New Jersey numbers. And Scotty Sevens, who's our guest tonight, was number 3 on the list. Tanner Dees from Alabama, Keith Nuttall from Virginia, and so on. So it took 2 trout to make the top 10, or two releases to make the top 10 in September. This is before redfish were included. So pretty strong showing. 10 trout, or 10, keep saying it. 10 fish was the number 1 in the nation. So that's pretty good. This is a milestone right here. Who would have thought? Usually New Jersey has been, and Pennsylvania have been, either not on the board or like one fish. And for the first time ever, New Jersey led the nation in releases. And it's primarily from our guest here who's going to join us, followed by Virginia. So how about that? That's, I think, 38 releases in New Jersey. Pretty awesome. I hope that trend continues for sure. And then our guide leaderboard was also led by Scotty. So Scotty is an avid angler. He's a captain, but also fishes by himself. And he had 27. There he is. 27 fish that were guided with clients, and then he had several by himself. So pretty strong, like way ahead in the guide leaderboard. So he's going to probably prove out that the more you enter, the better your chances of winning, because he's got most of the entries in some of these categories. So that being said, I'm going to introduce you all to Scotty Sevens. I'm going to solo him here.
What's going on, everyone?
How you doing, Scotty?
Good. Sorry.
Hey, Scotty.
So, hold on a second. Let me just see if I can figure out how to solo you here. There you are. Hey, thanks for joining us. You said
Yeah.
you were still on the water as of
Dude,
like 5 minutes ago.
I was still on the water. It was just one of those days where it's like, it was tough with the weather and everything. And I tried to give the clients a little bit extra. Had I not done that, they would have missed an opportunity for some really special fish. So I apologize that I'm late, but, I was happy I was at least able to make that worth it for them.
For sure. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. I've been talking you up in the last few minutes because you are way ahead in some of our categories here. Bear with me while I fumble around with this thing and try to get this going. There, that's good. Well, it's a little bit blocked, but I wanted to show some of the magazine covers that you've been on recently. So
Yes.
I've paid attention to Scotty the last few years. I've been following on Instagram, and he's also a fan of iStrike, which is of course my company. And some of these like GoPro shots are just really, really cool. And I really appreciate good photography.
Yeah.
So I know I featured you a lot of times, but it's cool to see you be making magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like a lost art, man. You know what I mean? Especially like these days, it's like everything with Instagram and social media has like gone to the direction of video, your TikTok, you have like your Instagram reels and all that. But there's something just so timeless about photography that like, that you just don't get with video. You know what I mean? And I miss that. I kind of miss back, like the 2020 era. That seemed to be like when the whole thing started to really change, as far as like really go to like reels and that sort of thing. But yeah, so I am a big fan of photography. It's just, there's something special and like I said, timeless about it that you don't get with video.
Right. I totally agree. And it's like Instagram like suddenly decided they wanted to be TikTok,
I know.
And I wish they just would remain Instagram like they
No,
used to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, like that 20, I don't know, pretty much. I think after 2020 is really when it all kind of changed. But I missed that like 2016, 2017, 18 era Instagram, when it's all pictures. And to be honest, like I really struggled with my social media because I really didn't know this first thing about editing videos and making reels and that sort of thing. And still, I have a ton to learn. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better now, but but yeah, it takes a lot of practice. It's editing video is like a whole different animal.
It sure is. But I think you do a good job with your photography, creating new and different angles. Like, you see so many of the standard kind of grip and grin, holding the fish horizontally like this.
Yeah.
And smiling in a pose,
Yeah.
But as you, I'm sure, are well aware based on your pictures, it's like adding that sort of three-dimensional image, sort of close up on the eye, all that kind of stuff just makes it a lot more interesting and cool.
Yeah, thank you. I sincerely appreciate that, man. I really do. It means a lot. It's something that I kind of spent a lot of time on and trying to dial in. I just really kind of wanted to try and set myself apart from, like most people. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like the same old, same old. So it's a lot of effort and a lot of time went into it.
Cool. So you're a guide up there in New Jersey, right?
Yep. Yes.
How long you been doing it?
So I got my captain's license back in 2019. So this, and then I was kind of doing it unofficially up until, I would say like, I don't know, 2020 through 2020. Then I made it like official, like everything like on the books, went after it hard. Like 2021. So I think this is like my third season guiding, like full season guiding. I have been doing it for a long time prior to that, but not, like I said, not what I would say, like more like unofficially.
Right.
So.
So how did you hear about Release Over 20?
Because I've always been a fan of Ice Strike, honestly. I always was a huge fan. Like, I remember, oh man, I don't even know how many years we're going back, but watching C.A. Richardson catching redfish, and he opens up his little box and he's talking about how great the Ice Strike jigs are. And I saw the Ice Strike jigs. I was like, man, they really are different. Like, they really are next level. They're not just your average jig head. Like, and that's kind of like where I found out about them. You know, like somebody that I really looked up to used them, and I figured I'd give them a shot. And that's really how I found out about RO22 when I started using the using Ice Strike.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, man, you freaking rung the bell last month.
Thank you. Yeah, for
I got to
Sheeps,
go
right?
backwards here. So I don't know if you were here for it, but
Yeah.
let me solo this here. So first of all, you're number 3 in the nation in individual releases.
Okay.
You and Dan Mancari, I don't know if you know Dan.
Yeah, I know Dan.
Together put New Jersey by far in the lead in the nation, which is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Usually you guys are like down in the no entries or 1v1.
Yeah.
And also, man, you're way up there in the guide leaderboard too, which is really cool.
Thanks.
So
yeah.
as you go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as you know, like if we pull your name in the guide category, then your client will win
Okay.
the prize. So you get the chance to call them and tell them that they won, and
Very cool.
kind of another incentive for having them fish with you, and release their
Yeah.
fish. So
Yeah, definitely. And so I had like I started talking about it the last few podcasts I did or whatever, but I started tagging a lot of sheeps this year for Gray's fish tag research. And I really tried to focus on like the double digit or near double digit fish. And I did that in hopes that, if those fish were ever caught again, that I feel like I would hope that somebody would be more inclined to release them. So really not a whole lot is really known about our population of sheep's head up here in the Northeast and in New Jersey. So I'm really anxious to hopefully start getting some data back from those and start putting together like some of the pieces, like as far as where they're going, what they're doing, where they're breeding, that sort of thing.
mm-hmm.
So
So
it's still a relatively new fishery for us up here.
Right, and it's completely unregulated, isn't it?
Completely. And
yeah,
that's something that really, really, really gets to me, like really burns my ass. Like, I don't know if it's first, I apologize, but the state of New Jersey refuses to recognize sheep's head as a fishery that needs to be protected. They refuse to recognize it as even a fishery at all. So they don't even think it's a fishery at all. And it's really frustrating because, the people that are making the decisions just don't really know enough and they just don't care. So I'm really, really going to work hard this winter and trying to see if we can try to get some sort of regs put into place for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you may or may not know, but the reason we have sheep's head in release number 20 is from New Jersey.
Really?
So the Qua and Dan Mancari from Tide Chaser podcast.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I was listening to one of their episodes where they were talking about the same thing, just like you were talking about. They were worried about sheep's head. They were noticing that the few spots where there's reefs or structures were getting cleaned out by anglers super fast, bridges, all these things, and they were worried about them, and they were bemoaning the fact that it was unregulated. And I said, well, let's just add it to release over 20. It can't hurt.
Yeah,
and
definitely not.
they were super excited about it. So it's like it literally started from there, from your state. So
Yeah, very, very cool. It's nice to hear that. I believe I heard some of that. So,
mhm,
but I wasn't sure the full story.
right, very
So,
cool, awesome.
yeah, I love what you guys do. I think it's super important, and luckily, like a lot of my clients that come out with me, the majority of them really know and understand like how special of a fishery it is for us up here, and a lot of them really are in favor. Like, you don't, it's not even really a conversation that you have to have. Like, most of them see the value in letting those fish go.
That's cool. I'm glad you said that because I was gonna ask you that, and I try to ask any of the guides that we have in the program about that because we hear from other guys and they're like, "Well, I could never do that because my clients I wouldn't get any business, if I couldn't keep anything or whatever, or didn't want to keep everything they caught." Yet guides like yourself have said emphatically that if you educate the client on like the whys on why you should release, or like, okay, it's not an issue,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
if it's like, hey, let's let them go. And next time you come back next year, we'll have some real trophies to catch. And it's like, it'll be even better, and it seems
Yeah,
like it
I agree
works.
with you. Yeah, it's because it's not like we got like a fresh batch of fish like moving into an area every single day. You know what I mean? Like, if you start plucking fish from an area, like, you're just dwindling down what we have there. Now, we do get like replenished and different bodies of fish do move in, but I mean, I've heard stories of sheeps being tagged, even up here, and they were caught in the same area like a couple weeks later. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, they basically didn't even move or didn't even go from where they were last caught.
Right.
So
And I know that sheep's head, their growth rate changes a lot in wherever you are in the country, but I know in South Carolina, like one thing that we boast is like an 18-inch fish that's 5 years old roughly, and a 20-inch is 10 years old. So
yeah, it's
when you
wild.
think about the double digits that you're catching, it could be like the next generation until those fish are rejuvenated to that size again.
Oh, no
Clean
doubt
them out.
about it.
It's going to take a long time for them to get that size again.
Yeah, no doubt. I totally
Mhm.
agree with you. So, and one thing on that note is I will say that I have seen the average size of our fish kind of getting smaller and smaller
Mhm.
every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, like, average catch years ago, 7, 8 pounds, but now we're seeing like a lot of threes, fours, five, like smaller
Mhm.
fish, and even micros, to be quite honest with you, showing up in like crab traps and minnow traps.
Right.
So they're definitely spawning up here. There's no doubt about that. I mean, early season, like, I do have the males, like, when they come up, they're hosing down the boat. Um, so they're definitely spawning up here, and there's enough little fish that get caught up here, like I said, in minnow traps and crab traps, to really support that theory.
Mhm. Cool. Before we move on, anyone in the peanut gallery here have any other questions for Scotty?
What's the best setup you use for sheep's head?
So set up like rod and reel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and this is kind of like a little bit hard to answer, but I actually prefer a much lighter rod for sheeps than what a lot of people would fish with. Like my favorite sheep rod right now is Lamiglas SI Bass, rated to 5/8. And it's almost like a noodle rod, but honestly, it's got a ton of backbone that you need. But the sensitivity is just like ungodly. So preferred for me, like I really don't care for rods with like cork grips and stuff like that. I feel like you lose a lot of sensitivity in that stuff. So the epitome of like the perfect sheep rod for me would be something rated to 5/8, possibly a little heavier, carbon fiber grips, minimum of 7 feet long.
We're always told down here we need a heavy rod.
Really? Yeah. Yeah,
And that
that's
could be why
what
we
I'm,
struggle to catch-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said that could be why we struggle to catch them because
So that's a really funny thing. And just like on that note, so I had a guy a couple weeks ago. He built his own rods and he really wanted to fish with his own rods. Cool, get it. Like he had a rod that was maybe rated to like an ounce, maybe ounce and a quarter. It was a little bit heavier. He missed so many bites, and he was just like extremely frustrated. In fact, I think we blew up an entire area because he like too many of the fish felt the steel. You know what I mean? I was like, listen, go down, use a lighter rod. And he did. And it was literally the ticket. It made all the difference in the world. Lighter rod, but again, something with backbone and minimum of 15-pound braid for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and what kind of terminal tackle are you using?
so bottom sweeper jigs. I basically use jigs. That's really all I use. Bottom sweeper half ounce is like my first out of the bag. That's what stays tied up for sheeps pretty much 24/7. Now I jump up from there occasionally, depending on moon face and how much current we're working with. I may go up to like 3/4. But the problem with doing that is they're a little bit harder to get a hook into. When you jump up to the heavier jig. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not doable, but the hookup ratio kind of definitely goes down. It's very noticeable.
Mm-hmm. Bottom Sweeper is one of our sponsors.
Yeah, very cool. Dan's a great guy.
He's a really cool guy. I've talked to him several times.
Yeah, he's like when I was coming up, man, like Dan Schaefer was a hero to me. He really was, man. Like just a wealth of knowledge, just like one of the coolest guys. Like he was doing stuff up here like years before other people were doing it. And he may not have been the first in some circumstances, but he's the one that put it on the map. He's the one that did it better. He's the one that took it to the next level. He really did. So I have an immense amount of love and respect for Dan Schaefer. I really do.
Cool. Now, last couple questions is about the sheepshead fishing you're doing. Is it like how deep of water are you typically? Are you like on reefs, or are you fishing like vertical?
So it really depends. I'm gonna call it vertical structure. You know, usually, I think that we all can kind of put together the pieces. What I mean by that, and really depending on the day, it's like super important to work the entire water column. Because like say like a day like today, honestly, like fish were like I'm in 40 feet of water. Fish were up as high as 5 feet down. Like if the water wasn't so dirty, like you would be able to see them. But the water's been like real nasty lately. On that other note too, I will say this: I've caught more and bigger fish this year on sunken debris. I'll call it. You know what I mean? Like locating sunken debris in the back bays, and I'm sure even out front. But I mainly fish back bays. That's what I do. But I would say, believe it or not, the majority of my large fish, my big double-digit fish, they were on the bottom, man, and that threw away like everything that I thought I knew about sheepshead this year. You know what I mean? Because I usually didn't target them like that. And it was basically by dumb luck. And I will say that it really does change with the tide phase as well. You know what I mean? Like, you know, on certain tides, they're staged up, they're feeding. You know what I mean? Other parts of a tide, they're they're roaming, so they're looking for their next spot. They're zipping around from spot to spot to spot, trying to figure out where they're going to go next. You know what I mean? So that's why like logs are super important, and like I always like recommend people that really try to keep a log as much as you can, and pay very close attention as well to what water depth you're fishing, because the more you can do that, the more successful you're going to be. That is for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I don't sheepshead fish a lot, but when I've learned, it's always been like on vertical structure
Correct.
and I went with a friend who's a guide here, mostly sheepshead fishes, and I learned so much from him because he fishes a lot of times in open water where there's just like a hard bottom strewn about, and it's not like anything vertical at all. It's just like a real rocky hard bottom. And those fish are going to be spread out. They'll be, instead of fishing the dock, for example, he's fishing 20 feet off the dock in the middle of the creek.
Correct.
And I was like, wow.
Yep, and it's eye-opening. And one of my biggest pieces of advice for people is this, and it's a technique that most people don't even pay attention to. Everybody's fish finder typically has a fish alarm on it. So once that fish finder starts marking something, it's beeping, like beep, 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 beep. Everyone's heard it on Wicked Tuna, you know what I mean? Because I can't tell you how many times that I was fishing and I'm constantly listening for that audible beep. Fish finder started going nuts and figured out that they were 15 feet behind me. You know what I mean? So it was like, no wonder why we weren't catching. We weren't in the wrong spot, but there was a spot within the spot, if you understand. You know what I mean? Yep. So yeah, that's definitely like a helpful little nugget that I always kind of like recommend that people try, and they do. Get used to reading your side scan, your down side scan images, because sheep throw off like a very different signature than say tog or striped bass would up here. So you can really tell the difference. I don't know if it's the same like with your red drum and black drum down there, but yeah, I know for us they throw off a much different signature.
What is your season for them sheep? So you fish all year?
It's a good question. So I would say starts in like maybe like mid-May. Even early May, if you have a spring that's really, really warm and the water warms up quick. And we're like right now, like today, I think we got 5 fish, but we're on what I would call borrowed time with them now. So at any point in time right now, we could get a big nor'easter that could just totally blow them out. You know what I mean? Heard of fish being caught up to like Halloween. But like we had Ophelia, which was a nor'easter maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And I thought that was going to be it. And luckily they stuck around. It did push off the majority of the fish that were here. Like that shut down like one of the most epic bites I had ever been on. But there's still fish around. And I will say this, that they totally switched areas from where they were before. So like that's why it's important to like think outside the box, and and if you're not getting bit on one spot, it's really important to cover water as quickly as possible. That's for sure. I think most people fish entirely too slow.
Well, Scotty, this has been cool. We got a little sheepshead seminar in the middle of this thing, which I wasn't really expecting, but I think that's really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, like I sincerely appreciate you guys thinking enough of me to like even have me on here. It really does mean a lot, and it's sincerely appreciated. And like I said, I'm sorry that I was a little bit late tonight. It's just like one of those nights that just totally ran over.
That's cool. I'm just glad you could join us, and if not, we would have managed.
Yeah, anyway, me too. I don't like letting people down, man. That's like
it's all good.
So,
All right. Let's move on then. I'm gonna. You want to hang around?
Oh yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay. So this month we're not giving away sponsor packs because. So as you all know, we're a nonprofit, we're volunteer run, and we've been in progress of getting more organized with our accounting. So we have QuickBooks, and we used to not include our sponsor donations in QuickBooks. We kind of were managing it more manually, but we recently moved our storage location and are in progress of moving all the inventory into our QuickBooks so we can, just better manage our inventories and all the reasons that you should do that. So we're not ready. We should be ready in the next few days, but in the meantime, we're just going to give away apparel.
Cool.
4 apparel packs, so a T-shirt and a hat to each of our 4 winners tonight. This will be the last month. Most likely, we haven't decided officially as a board, but I think this is going to be the last month that we do species-specific giveaways. We're probably just going to lump all the entries in together, with the exception of the guide entries going forward. Just because we have redfish now, and we just don't have this much to give away that we do something for every species, especially going forward when we add other species, which we hope to do in the near future. So anyway, looking at giving away a T-shirt. This is the front RO20. It's catching on the front, and then the logo on the back. Real soft tri-blend shirts. Love mine. And then we got hats. So we've got low profile hats like the one that me and Adam are wearing, and we have these contoured sort of snapbacks as well. So we'll ask the winners what their preference is for hat, and then also what their size is for shirt. So hope everyone's okay with that. That being said, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, I'm going to change views. All right, so our first giveaway will be the Cactus giveaway. Scotty is all over the place here. There's 31 entries.
Really?
We got a lot by Scotty, and we've got a smattering of others. And this is how, I don't know if you've watched this before, Scotty, but this is how we do it. So we do the random generator here.
Yeah.
And then I roll it 3 times. So the third time's the winner.
Okay.
And then we go figure out who it is. So first roll is 19, second is 20, and the winner is 28. And let's go see who that is. Scotty Sevens.
Really?
And your client, the winner is your client, Caleb Cassicart.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So we'll ask you to reach out to Caleb, tell him you won as a result of releasing his fish on your charter.
Very cool.
And find out his T-shirt size and what kind of hat he prefers, low profile or a snapback.
Okay.
And I'll email you after we're over tonight.
Yeah.
And remind you all that, but just let me know when you find out and get his address, and we'll mail it to him.
He's a younger kid. He got a beast.
Oh well, he'll be pretty stoked then, hopefully.
Yeah.
So. Cool. Congrats.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you.
You may win again. Because the next one I'm going to do is sheep's head. And we've got 8 entries. So the reason there's a lesser number here is because some of the entries on the front page are actually client entries. So we actually have 8 individuals that released sheep's head. So let's pick that. So first roll is 8, second roll is 3. The winner is 1, which is Scotty Sevens. Congrats.
Thank you.
So that time you won.
Oh, me. All right. That's awesome.
Heck yeah. So you won.
Yeah, very cool. I'll definitely rock that stuff.
All right, 23 inch. Giant, nice fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I was going to ask you if there was like a name and which one that was, but I
A
forgot. It's a
name.
program. Yeah, because like I said, like all the ones I tagged, I named. Like I'm pretty sure that fish had a tag in it. I'm going to say I'm almost positive.
I don't know if I saw it in a comment or anything,
Yeah.
but it's 23 inches, a giant. So good
Yeah.
job.
Thank you.
So yeah, so if it's not obvious to everyone, like the more fish you enter, the better your chances of winning.
Yeah.
So there's Scotty's won twice. Okay, so moving to flounder, Dan Mancari's got a bunch of them, also from New Jersey. So let's pick a winner for flounder. It was, what did I say, 21? First roll 15, second 15, and the winner is 2, which is Dan. So New Jersey is rocking it. 3 out of 3 so far as New Jersey. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Dan's a sniper too, as far as those flounder go.
Yeah.
That's like his niche.
Yeah, he just got on an incredible bite at the end of the season there. He was so excited. He's telling me all about it. Okay, so last one is we got 53 trout. And pick that one. So we've got 42, 30, winner is 24, which is Ruben Acuna. Is Ruben still here? Ruben, are you here? He was here before. Ruben won. Ruben's in Texas. This was his comment earlier, guys. So that's pretty cool. So winning the trout is like winning the lottery because it's someone's entries. So we got New Jersey, New Jersey, New Jersey, Texas this month. There he is. Heck yeah. Congrats, Ruben. I love it. Glad you tuned in to watch. That's good karma. Yeah, so all right, 4 winners. Next month we got redfish included. Let's if you're all watching, post on your social media just about Release Over 20 so other people know. Like, we're just trying to get the word out. No one's making a profit off this thing. We're all volunteers. All we want is that people start releasing bigger fish so we all have more fish and our kids have better fish to catch in the future, and just to do the right thing. The more people know about it, the more people will do it, I think. And redfish, it's just bringing more people into the fold, and I truly believe that the more fish you release, the more you want to release, and that's just like it's just changing behaviors, man. So that's pretty cool. Ruben, don't you get yourself fired, man. You got to do your job while you're at work instead of winning prizes here on Release Over 20. All right. Any last words, guys, before we wrap it up? Don?
No, I'm good.
He's good. Okay. Scotty?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I appreciate it though. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Adam?
No, just thank you everyone for participating and tuning in. Appreciate it. And it takes a village, so let's keep it going.
That's right. Captain Wasson?
It was great being able to talk to Scotty, get some information about sheepshead. So now I'm going to start targeting them more.
Very cool. Yeah, man. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram. I'd be happy to, talk. I really would,
Awesome.
Especially
Well,
if
Scotty-
you're another guide from a different area, like absolutely. More than happy.
Well, Scotty, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us, and I really appreciate your participation in the program, and I hope you inspire more people from your area to start doing the same. And every client that you take out that participates in the program, they might tell their friends, and and your client that won tonight, he's gonna be rocking a new shirt and he'll have a story to tell to people. And
Yeah,
just like planting seeds. You know what I mean? So
It does. And like that was like the one thing about like tagging fish. It just like amplified like the entire experience. You know, when you get
Yeah.
to name them and name them something special like that, you know, it's like very sentimental. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So for a lot of people.
Yep. Awesome. Well, those of you who won, check your email. I'm gonna be reaching out to you, and we'll get those packs out to you ASAP as soon as we hear back. Keep the entries coming. Don't forget, Redfish are now part of the program, and we're glad to give out as many free decals as we can do it. So that's what we're here for. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll be back again at the end of beginning of November. So go catch them. Water's cooling off. Fish are biting, and don't forget to enter your fish. Let's reach that 10,000 and 2,000 milestone. Okay.
Very cool.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yep. Thank you.
Hey Dave,
Yes, sir.
I got that I got that hat and shirt for Sean too. I already delivered it.
Okay. Very good.
So thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Have a good night.
Good night.